Hey there, everyone. My name is Archer After Epilogues, the story after the story, here for a good time, not for a long one. And today I've got something a little bit different for us because my editor unfortunately spilled a drink all over his PC and we lost the vids that I was going to post for the next 2 weeks. So we're going to do some planetzoo speed builds instead for a little while. I've never done one of these before. I'm actually pretty excited about it. I'm recording this voiceover basically entirely off riff, so please be kind to me. But also feel free to give me some unsolicited advice in the comments if you want, since I'm not entirely sure how to do these things. So tips are appreciated, so that way I know what you guys like, what you don't like, what works, what doesn't, that sort of thing. But anyway, we are starting a franchise zoo completely from scratch, but like from actual scratch, not like what the big planetzoo YouTubers say when they say from scratch, because that doesn't really count because they have 500 franchise zoos already made and they've got all the research and they've got all the DLC and everything. No, girl. We are raw dogging this entirely from ground zero with just the deluxe pack and no research done whatsoever. We have absolutely nothing at all. Totally bare bones. So we're going to try and make a franchise zoo here with basically nothing. And with all of that in mind, I thought, why not make this zoo a money-themed zoo? So since we are Epilogues Incorporated in this franchise, we got to keep it story-themed, of course. So this zoo is the Money Story Zoo, and it is all about making me as much money as humanly possible. So everything we do in the zoo is going to be themed around reminding our guests that they want to spend their money here and they want to make me rich, because making me rich will make them feel rich. So, it all kind of works out that way. And so what better way to start off a zoo like this, where we're making as much money as possible, with a bank, right? So that is what I'm building here right now. We are building a bank, and we are going to put tortoises in here because banks are always slow. And I figure there's no better animal to put in here and run the bank and introduce guests to what they're about to experience here. So that is what we are building in this speed build here. And I'm very excited. The idea, the thought process here was that they come into the zoo and they immediately must go through the walkthrough tortoise exhibit to get in. They cannot get into the zoo any other way. And this is because they need to go through the bank, right, to get their money so that they can spend it here, right? But it's also so they can, like, deposit their money, you know what I mean? So walking through the bank, right, we're keeping with the theme, reminding everybody, hey, you need to spend money, because rich people spend money here, right? So that kind of thing. That's what we're working with. That's what we're doing. Here I am building the little, like, shelter area for the tortoises. I had no idea what I wanted to do with, like, the walls or anything yet. I was looking for hopefully some, like, wall tiles that were, like, solid black. I unfortunately did not find any, and then we will get to this later. I realized that you cannot actually paint these brick walls for some reason, so that really pissed me off, because what I was gonna do was I was gonna make the bank walls black and then do, like, the roof tiles and everything like gold and stuff like that, and then realized that I can't even paint any of the things that I'm placing, so none of it even mattered. So yeah, so that's cool, but it's fine. We will make do. It actually turned out pretty good for what it is, so I'm not too mad about it. Yeah, I'm trying to decide here how big I want to make it. I kind of, for a long time, just kind of ignored the actual tortoise habitat, but it's fine. I'm trying to think about where I want the rest of the zoo to kind of branch out from here, from this point onward, because I have, like, basically not really a big image of, like, the overall layout for the zoo in my brain. Something that I struggle with and that I'm hoping to get better at by doing this whole franchise zoo speed build series is creating more in, like, creative habitats, I guess, making things more, like, exciting, more interesting, rather than just the box that I have started with. But the box for this is fine because, it's a bank, and banks are boring and square, so I'm deciding now, making it bigger. I only made it 2 stories tall. I'm not gonna put anything, at least for right now, I don't think, up on the second floor, so we'll see. We'll see what I do later if I want to change it. I'm watching back on this footage, there are already 1.5 million things that I want to change, and then I thought about and realized while I was, like, looking back over this and being like, dang, that would have been a much better idea to do. So we might later on go back and change things. Here I am discovering that or remembering that the edge of the building is not on the grid. What I should have honestly done was just change the size of the exhibit to match the grid, or just create an entirely different building, because I forgot that you can create multiple buildings and like put them together. So I just said screw it and did like a hanging roof there instead. So I think it works. It's, I'm not satisfied with it, but once again, we're gonna go back and change this once I get better research stuff unlocked. Because I don't have anything, you guys. There's nothing that I can really work with here. It's so sad. So here I am figuring out the roof. I think the roof turned out pretty well, over the turtles anyway. The bank roof itself is a different story, but we're not gonna worry about that right now, we're just gonna ignore it for the time being. We will get to that later on. But yeah, I'm trying to go through all the different pieces, figure out what I want to do, how I can make the roof look good. I don't know how I can do the slanted tiles. I assume this is a moment where I have to make a different building and like put something in there. I tried, like, you see there, I tried to rotate it on the x-axis, but I could only move it on the x-axis, so I am not really too sure what to do about the angled roofs like that. So if you guys know of anything in the game that I can use to, like, do something about that, please let me know in the comments, because that would be much appreciated. Again, tips are much appreciated for this sort of thing, but here I am going back to the path, and I'm remembering that there is a grid feature for the paths, and that grid feature is not actually working. So, gotta get rid of the fence and redo all this stuff. The path going into the other exit gate, it's whatever. I covered that up with plants and rocks later, because I could not be bothered to actually fix that and make it proper. I thought about doing a door and then realized I can't be bothered to do a door, so I just did arches for the bank exits, but it's fine. It's like, it's bougie anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And I had made the path super long in the tortoise exhibit because the idea was, like, to make guests walk, like, a lot, and we're in, like, a grassland, so it's really hot, of course, so they're gonna get really thirsty really fast. So then when they get into the bank, they can immediately start spending money on drinks. So, I didn't have enough money to add a drink stand in the bank now. I think when I did that will be in, like, the next episode, the next speed build that I have, because I did 2 exhibits during the stream. There I am messing around with the roof. I don't really know what I'm trying to find, like, tiles that, like, fit in the middle there. The roof pieces kind of suck. I don't know if it might just be a me thing, to be honest with you. It might just be me, but the roof tiles feel like they kind of blow. So maybe, I don't really know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm thinking about I'm still thinking about what roofs I could put there, besides just the triangle that I went with there. And then of course we put, the roof slats all around the outside too. I was really hoping, I opted to not do, like, the plaster walls or anything, because I was like, I don't want it to look cheap, I want it to look kind of fancy, but I should have done the plaster walls, because the plaster walls you could actually paint. So unfortunately these are more walls that I cannot do anything with, or more ceiling tiles that I can't do anything with, so here we are. I downloaded a bunch of blueprints off of the workshop to make this easier. That was one that I downloaded. I don't remember who made it, but it's on, like, the first couple pages of the Steam Workshop, and I wanted to use it because I was going to use it as a centerpiece for this lion statue that we're going to put in a couple minutes, but it was way too big, and that kind of sucked because I thought it was small. So, it is what it is. Now we're just making the inside flooring of the tortoise shelter. I tried to make it, and here I am buying the animals. A little intermission here. I tried to make, like, the floor even throughout, and again, this is, like, another moment where I'm kind of thinking, dang, I really should have just kept it on the grid and just changed the size of the fence, but I don't know why I did what I did. I wasn't really thinking about that. I was just kind of going. So I didn't exactly make the floor even all the way throughout, so I covered it up with plants again, but it's fine. The tortoises actually like it like that. I might go back and like change it again. I don't know. Beats me. Here I am making like a little water spigot hose coming out of the bank, because I don't know. Do banks have water spigots outside like houses do? I don't know. Oh, anyway, we're decorating the bank now. And so are y'all ready for what we called our bank? Y'all aren't ready for this. I don't think y'all are ready for this, but we are calling our bank the Spend Money Bank. Because again, right, we're reminding our guests that by spending money here, they are rich. And the more money they spend and the more money they throw at me, the more money that feels like comes back to them. Obviously, nothing is ever going to come back to them except for the experience that they're going to get here. But that's not really money, you know. I'm the one that's really, really profiting off of what is going on here. So, yeah. So here's the Spend Money Bank, everybody. Our first exhibit at the Money Story Zoo is the Spend Money Bank, the Spend Money Tortoise Bank. So now I'm just getting it ready. And this was the fun part because I suck at building, but I feel like, listen, okay, I've been doing Zoo Tycoon since the game came out. Since Zoo Tycoon 1, I had all the Zoo Tycoon 2 expansions. Okay, I feel like I'm pretty freaking good at building animal environments and enclosures in these kinds of games. I feel like I'm pretty good. So I'm trying to do rock work for the first time ever. I never do rock work. Here I am also covering up that like awkward gap there in the fence. I think I can't remember if I already like tried to fix it or not. I think I did. But I just covered up the rest of the gap with rocks because, you know, there we go. I'm doing something. Oh, I'm changing it to the hedges. I thought I was going to fix it. No, I did not fix it. I don't know why I didn't fix it. I think I was too lazy at the time. So I just put rocks in there so that the turtles can't, for whatever reason, squeeze their way back into that corner and escape for some reason. I don't know, but I feel like I'm pretty good at designing actual habitats. So I'm making like a little rock perch here for them. I was kind of really hoping that they would be able to walk up it, and they actually can, so that's exciting. I have yet to see any of the tortoises actually walk up there. I put some enrichment items up there to kind of encourage them to go up there. I still don't think any of them have like moved up there. I think the exhibit is like too big for them, but since recording this, my tortoises have since had lots and lots of babies, so there are a lot more turtles, a lot more animals in the exhibit that can climb up there. So here I am putting some trees down everywhere. I was gonna put a willow tree, but then I was like, that doesn't really fit with like the deserty theme. So I put the I think it's the tamarind tree. I don't know. I put that tree in there. It looks a lot better. And I'm putting bushes down and everything. And I'm, you know, I feel like I kind of ate here, you guys. I don't know. You tell me what you think. Here I am trying to figure out what kind of tree would look best in here. This tree does clip into the actual like resting area where the turtles sleep. I didn't realize that until I was going back and recording like cinematic shots for this video, so it kind of clips through, but I think it's kind of a vibe, and you'll kind of see it in like the cinematic shots and everything. I think it's kind of a vibe. Here I am trying to make the exhibit look a little bit, or the exhibit, goodness, the habitat, the shelter, look a little bit more jungly. I might go back and take this off because this isn't really giving bank, you know what I mean? Like, this is giving rundown bank, you know? This isn't really giving, like, rich, ritzy, like, only rich people go here, only the elite go here, only the elite get the privilege of being here kind of thing, you know? So I might go back and change that. Maybe I'll add more dollar signs or something. Maybe I can make, like, a, you know, like a little bead curtain with money signs and replace it. I don't know. Here I am going back to like recolor the walls though, and now I'm realizing, wow, I can't actually color any of the tiles that I put on that building. So I went through what I cut out, went through a whole thing trying to look for tiles. Then I started putting the floor down, and then I realized that I can't put the floor down because I should probably put the paths down first. So I deleted all of that and then forgot to go back and put the floor back in. So it's just tiles, but it's fine because the gold path I think kind of works here. So I think I kind of like the gold path more than like an actual floor, but I don't know. We'll see what I do and if I go back and change it or not later on. But yeah, no, the gold path, I didn't know that they had a gold path in this game. I'm pleasantly surprised that they do. Ignore how the path does not go through that door evenly. I do not fix that, so just kind of do your best to ignore it. but I feel like the gold path is like really working, and all of the paths throughout this entire place are going to be gold, except for the area where we're going to be reminding our guests of what happens when they don't spend money, and we will start that area in the next speed build. But otherwise, everywhere is going to be solid gold pathways because we are rich. We are the money story zoo people, okay? Here I am building a little lion statue outside of our bank because banks always have lion statues. I kind of wish that the reward statues from the career modes were bigger. They unfortunately are not. They're kind of small. But you know, it is what it is. I just play the game. I didn't, you know, if I could have designed it, I would have made them huge, but I didn't, so, you know. But anyway, here I am placing a copious amount of donation boxes around and trying to figure out how I want to do the education stuff. At first I was just going to do stands, and then I changed my mind. I don't remember why, so I was like, oh, well, we have natural features here, so this is better. I placed down the wrong TV, so just ignore that, and then I placed down the actual TV that I need. And a speaker, which sticks through, so we gotta move that. Yeah, I don't know why I put them on, like, the actual the trees and stuff, like, as if that makes any sense, but, you know, I think my thought process was more natural, and of course I put them all in upside down, so, you know, I have to quickly turn them around, but, it's chill, it's fine, it looks good, it works. I don't know if it actually looks all that good on the tree or not, but, yeah. And so, finally I opened up the zoo because we were running out of money, so we needed to open it up. Placing the enrichment items around so that the tortoises are happy. Of course I forget, in classic me fashion, that the tortoises get really stressed in walkthrough exhibits. And even with the nice, like, shelter that I had built for them, I even put two-way glass over some of the gaps in that shelter too, so they would, like, stop, like, freaking out. It still just was not enough for some reason. I don't know what the problem was, so I built another random shelter shed thing out here and put some rocks there. I might do, like, a cave or something instead. I don't know. But that's what I did to solve that. And so, yeah. So that is pretty much the zoo. Here are, like, the little cinematic shots. I'm really excited. There are a lot of things that I forgot to do. I will probably go back and fix them later on in the series, but let me know if you guys have any other ideas for anything that I could do here. And with all of that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the cinematic shots. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're excited for, if you have any other ideas for what we can do later on. And I will see you all in the next little speed build. So thank you guys so much, and I will see y'all around.